Forever. Dog.
Warning. The following podcast and this warning were recorded right before the 2020 election. You, listener, are hearing this on Friday, and no matter where things are at by then, we truly wish we could all process the news by doing one thing: drinking at Disneyland. Cait Raft helps us rosé the day away on podcast The Ride. Welcome to Podcast The Ride, hosted by, well, at least one guy who today is talking about the thing he misses literally the most on Earth, that being drinking at Disneyland. I'm Scott Gardner. I'm that guy. Mike Carlson, I don't know where it lands on your list, but I'm sure it's on it.
It's on it. It's, you know, it's a nice, like, a little parsley on the plate, certainly, but it's maybe not, it's not the main course. I don't know. I want to say, you know, it's better than parsley. It's not. Parsley is really superfluous. It's
not bringing a lot to the table.
It's like a mashed potatoes, a good solid mashed potatoes with butter on the plate. You don't need it, but you're so excited to have it when you're eating dinner.
Sure. Yeah. Not the primary course, but,
right?
But it's there and it's doing its part. Jason Sheridan, meal analogies or whatever.
What was that?
Meal analogies or however you feel.
I'm just marveling at the upgrade from parsley to mashed potatoes with gravy and butter. Skyrocketed up the charts. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I feel like in quarantine, I've become practically a teetotaler. Not by any choice, just because it was depressing me or just putting me to sleep.
What's teetotaler?
Like, doesn't drink.
I see. Mm-hmm,
like I think I've had a couple glasses of wine and some White Claws, and that's been the extent of it.
Right. Well, because, you know, sitting in your place and drinking is not as exciting as wandering around a space, breathing fresh life into this themed environment that you love to go so much. That's the way to do it. That's the way to consume alcohol,
right?
Not stuck on your lonesome.
Yeah, at the Uva bar outside at 3 p.m. on a weekday afternoon.
Hell yes, the greatest. I should say that this topic comes courtesy of our guest, who is from the podcast Hot and Rich. This podcast is Self-Care, and from JackAM. Please welcome Cait Raft. Hello,
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
I love drinking at Disneyland. So this is a passion of mine.
Is it a meal like for you? Is it mashed potatoes? Is it a different type of food on the plate?
I feel like I would say it's like the appetizer. It's the appetizer. It's a tasting menu of alcohol. It's like you have to pair it with every aspect of Disneyland. I would say it's like, you know, it's a hearty appetizer.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That can eke into dinner. That can make you have to order a smaller dinner.
Like a too big appetizer. Like,
right.
You know, wings, maybe.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That can be sort of inconvenient if you also order the bigger.
It's like a wings appetizer.
Right.
Or like a sampler with like the wings and the mozzarella sticks and the potato skins, and you're like, well, I want a little of each, and it's like, oh, I feel disgusting as the entrees.
Right. It's like jalapeno poppers too, which like you didn't really want, but they're in the platter, so you try a couple.
They're just there.
Yeah. And it's heavy. It's heavy.
Those appetizer hangers on.
Yeah.
The ones that like would not fly on their own.
Exactly.
But they know the right friends to get into the appetizer party.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think depending on, like, Cait, would you say when you go to Disneyland, it's like, is this how do you do it? How do you structure your day?
Okay, so like, I've had many evolving eras of drinking at Disneyland because I am from Southern California, so I used to go a lot as an underage person, and that routine is different than my current drinking routine. So I guess I should start with the past and just quickly say that I used to bring, like, we would get Diet Coke bottles and fill them with whiskey and bring them and like go to the bathroom and like chug whiskey and like do like shots of it and then go on rides as like teenagers. And it was so disgusting, but it was really a big part of my life, big part of my youth. We would also sometimes like buy sodas in the park and then secretly like go pour a little flask into it. That was our method. It got really elaborate where I would like sneak alcohol in new and fun ways. So there was this one time where I put a flask of whiskey inside a Flaming Hot Cheetos bag and I made like a fake lunch that I packed like a banana into, like stuff I wasn't even going to eat, but just so that if I had to open my bag, or you do have to open your bag, so they would just see lunch and not a flask. And it worked and it was great.
Oh, yeah. Now looking back, are you like, was this overkill? Was this more about the thrill of the chase?
Definitely didn't need to,
the excitement?
Didn't need to do all of that. It was not.
Sure.
It was not necessary.
But fun. Super fun to do. Covert operation.
I mean, so fun. But I would say like my current thing, I love just like a rosé, starting off with a rosé in California Adventures. I like the Listel rosé that they have there. It's like the cheapest one. It's great.
Now, which are we talking about from that like outdoor, from that like Napa area you order at the counter?
Yes,
or is
the
this
counter.
a sit-down situation?
The counter is where it's at. I like that. I also like to go to Carthay Circle, the bar there, and have like whatever their seasonal cocktail is. They have like different ones for like different holidays. So like the Halloween one is like some apple cider old fashioned type thing. That's pretty good.
I don't think I know about the seasonal ones.
They have a Christmas one too, I think.
Do you get different, like, are there like non-drinkable decorations in these?
Yes.
Typically?
Yes.
Okay.
The Halloween, I still have them in my freezer. The Halloween one has light up pumpkins that they put in, mini little jack-o'-lanterns that they put inside the drink. It's great.
Yes, I have had this drink, and you get a little plastic keepsake.
Or is it a skull? It might be a skull, actually. I can't remember.
I think it is a skull. I think it's like a melted little skull, or it's like looks like a candy apple skull kind of a thing. Yes. Yeah. You get a lot of. I feel like Disney does a lot of. You get a little toy with your alcohol sometimes. That's a nice thing about Disney.
I love that
for the children. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Disneyland is not for children personally. I feel like it is for the drinking aged adult. And I'm fine.
Do you think it's like better even for the drinking age adult than a child?
I feel like, yeah. I mean, I don't have children, so who's to say if I'll change my mind on this if I ever do? But I think it's like it rules to be a childless adult. I know there's so many people that talk shit about childless adults who go to Disneyland and get drunk. But I have to just own that is what I am and it's what I enjoy, and fuck off, okay? I'm gonna get wasted and buy like a $20 cocktail that comes with a toy, and then I'm gonna keep the toy as a memory of my fun joy.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
And who are you hurting with this? Is there anyone making this observation? I'm always curious, like, how does this affect you? Why is this bothering you? Why are you raining on many parades?
I think people hate to see just like... People really hate to watch someone like piss their money away, and Disneyland is so expensive. I think that just upsets people that it's just like a hemorrhage of money that you should be spending it on a child, not your selfish adult self. I guess I don't know what it is.
I think it's like that they're generationally, as you go back the generations. I think. Early and earlier when you were growing up, you would have to shed anything you liked as a kid. You'd have to cut that off.
Yes.
Like cut off anything you liked as a child. Like in 80 years ago, it was you're at 13 years old, you cut it off. You don't like it. Then it maybe moved up average to like 15. And we're maybe like in the first generation where a good majority of people have not let it all go. So now we're incorporating an adult element into another fun thing we enjoyed as children.
Yes.
Which is nice. Honestly, as long as you're not hassling children. I'm not like, I don't have a jug of moonshine and I'm hassling some kids. I'm enjoying a nice buzz while I'm walking down Main Street.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's great. And I think it's a way to refresh the experience. If you've been there a zillion times and you need ways to make it new, then different alcohol pairings kind of help make it new and also kind of give you the fuzzy swirliness that you probably had when you were a little kid and didn't understand what it even was. You know what I mean? It I don't know. It sets you back. You feel like a 3-year-old.
Yeah, you have to kill enough brain cells that you're as dumb as you were as a child.
Mm-hmm. And then you start to question the reality. You start to question if maybe one of the pirates is real.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly.
Which I guess would be an argument for doing drugs there, because we do not typically do. Kate, I don't know if you know this. We're good boys. We're very good boys.
Yes, I know that.
We follow.
I know that about you.
Yeah.
Everyone says that about you guys.
Sure. Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah. No, that's
sure.
If you ask just general reputation, that's
the good
answer.
boys.
I think if we had to go by each of us when we had our first drink of alcohol, it's over 20 for all of us, right? Or no?
No. I started 17.
Pretty good, Jason.
I think I had a shot at a college party at 19.
Okay, I'm the old. I think I was at least 20 or 21.
Okay.
I think it was 20.
Wait,
maybe.
this is new information.
That's very
Yeah,
we
yes,
haven't
it
talked
is.
about this.
Very wholesome.
Yeah.
I had my first beer with my dad on my 21st birthday on the outdoor patio of the the now closed Rainforest Cafe at downtown Disney.
Oh my God. Wow.
That's your first legal drink? Was it the Rainforest
I think that was
Cafe?
my first. Now that you say that, yes, I think that would technically be my first legal drink. And it was the thing with the shortest wait. He was visiting for the weekend, and it was probably 60 dropping to 50 as our meal progressed. It was miserable weather in October. This October, it's 90 degrees in Los Angeles. That October, it was the appropriate fall weather, You know
what that makes me think of? I don't want to sidetrack too hard here. Scott and I saw a concert a couple of years ago, a Mr. Ben Folds.
Yeah.
And there's a song he has. He wrote a song, Still Fighting It, about his son who had just been born. And he talked about how he was going to have his first beer with his son when his son was older. And I believe Ben said he had the beer with his son that night at the concert.
Oh, that's cool.
If I remember correctly.
Or if you're a fan of him, you certainly know that line. And then everybody's like, that line, it happened this evening?
I love that.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Oh, you better believe I listened to that song and thought about having that moment with my son who's a baby right now. And so maybe, how long can we push it off? Maybe he'll be 14. Does that seem like the appropriate? All right, great. Celebrate him starting high school.
Are you going to do it at the Rainforest? Or I guess it's not there anymore, but are you going to do it at Downtown Disney?
Closed.
Oh, it seems pretty likely, right? Given the history.
Yeah, the Uva Bar.
Uva Bar will outlive us all with that funky 90s font.
I will say that Uva Bar was also a big part of my drinking routine for a while. I think before, they used to only have like beer and wine for a long time at California Adventures, right? Or they had other stuff, but it was always really weak. They would serve really weak margaritas or something. This was when probably 10 years ago or something.
I think they've always had margaritas over by the wharf.
Yeah,
that area with the Chinese food and with the Mexican food.
I feel like my friends and I decided that those margaritas weren't strong enough, so we would leave California Adventures, go to the Uva Bar, and each take double shots of tequila, and then run back into the park and be slightly more buzzed.
Yeah, I think that it just as a rule of thumb for drinking tips, I guess at Disney in park. Fruity, colorful drinks don't have as much alcohol. You probably should go to an actual bar to get the full alcohol content for a drink. Because I think, yes, oftentimes it's just covered by sugar. And that, of course, doesn't bother me that much. But if you're looking for an actual full shot of something in a drink, I think your best bet is the bar somewhere, an actual
It's
bar.
very clear in my mind. A time Mike and I went down on a Friday, early evening, and went to the Mad Tea Party like bar stand. We ordered mojitos, and I watched them pick up what looked like a milk jug and dump it over ice in the cup. And then they plopped the plastic light up ice cubes on top. And I was like, oh, the drink was already mixed in the jug. This is what we just paid $16 for.
Yeah. Jason, are you talking about the Mad Hito? Because I think that's what you're talking about. It was not a regular mojito. It was a Mad Hito. I'm looking at the menu right now.
The madness comes from even a lightweight like me felt nothing from that drink.
Yeah, and I think it's probably wise to have because those are the spots where people are probably consuming the most alcohol. So it's probably wise to give everybody, the most people, less. That is probably smart.
Disney has stumbled upon the best way to control drinking. You just charge an arm and a leg for everything. Oh, yeah. And even partiers will call it at a certain point, you know? Although Mike and I also were at the Steakhouse 55 bar once at the Disneyland Hotel, and the older couple next to us were really tying a few on and talking about getting back to Pasadena. And I was like, oh, I am worried about this.
Boy.
Yeah, I would. Yes, that was scary. I remember that. That was too intense.
And you guys offered to drive them back.
Well, we did. Yeah, Jason and I drove them back, and then we came. Yeah, we came back to Disney.
It was unclear too whether they were husband and wife, brother and sister, what their relationship was.
If they wanted Jason and I to join them for a quad, is that what you call it?
I guess that's what you would. A Pasadena quad. It was a real chaotic energy that night.
They were just hoping you had a hotel and that you might say, do you guys want to, if you want to just relax a little before that drive, or not drive home at all.
If there was a free hotel room he could have spent some time in, Jason would have done it.
I never look a bargain in the eye unless they turned and was like, can you get us a lift? We're staying at the Knott's Hotel up the road.
Oh, but then Snoopy could join be a fifth.
Well, that's true.
That's an Anaheim quad.
Yeah.
I mean, Buena Park.
Buena Park
quad.
Yeah. Yes.
Buena Park.
Well, you're discussing Anaheim quad, and then it becomes a Buena Park quad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or Quint if Snoopy becomes a Buena Park Quint.
Yeah.
Right, that's absolutely right.
Yeah. So were we Mad Hitos?
We're talking about
Mad Hitos.
Yes. So Cait, your rosé seasonal cocktails. Do you you're not probably as insane as we are about knowing all the maybe spots to do stuff, but do you go to the hotels? Do you ever go to Trader Sam's?
Yes, I do. I know most of the spots as well. I mean, I'm a theme park person like you guys. I
didn't mean to insinuate you were.
I'm in the trenches. I'm in the trenches finding the hotels to drink at. Depending on where you park, which parking lot you get shoved into, there's different options. But I love Trader Sam's, and Trader Sam's is where I go at the end on my way home. Like at end of the day with a tiki drink at Trader Sam's. It's always so fun. It's when you order certain drinks, certain animatronics. It's very Rainforest Cafe because they have little shows that happen in the bar, little thunderstorms and shit like that. It's the best.
But an intimate,
super intimate
Rainforest Cafe, like a little more like the little a crafted black box theater version rather than
it's amazing.
A broader
if you order the Shipwreck, that's what a volcano erupts.
And then there's that drink that you have to get. It's I forget what it's called, but it's for 4 people, and it has a fire, and you flick cinnamon into the fire or something. Have you ever gotten that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name of it. And it comes in the big ceramic.
Yes.
And I forget what it is. I got a version of it in Orlando, and I got the Nautilus, I guess cup you'd call it, that it came with, and I have it. It's on the mantle downstairs.
I know the cup.
It's like a punch bowl. Yeah.
Trader Sam's is really. How can I say to make myself not sound so lame? Very special.
It's very special.
It is very special.
It is
very special.
And yeah, it's a great end of the night. They also have stuff like during the have you ever seen this during the holidays? The volcano erupts and snow comes out the top of it.
Wow,
Yeah.
I had no idea. That's incredible. That's
Yeah.
incredible. That's art.
Yes.
Be there. Wanna
That's
do
art.
it.
I'm sure they're. I mean, they have a whole outdoor thing, but it's not. You
think
wouldn't get the experience if you sat outside.
Yeah, I mean,
The
sitting
outside is nice if the weather's nice.
Yeah,
It's very
sitting outside's not
pleasant.
bad. You get to
can
see
hear the
some of the
music,
cats.
but you don't get the show.
But you don't get
yeah.
the show. There'll be a performer outside playing some flamenco guitar, and they've expanded the back area now to have more drink service, which Jason and I enjoyed while we were crashing the Theo Awards last year, or attempting to, the theme park awards, and there was just a bunch of people in dresses and tuxedos, and then Jason and I like roaming
T-shirt
around,
and jeans.
roping around,
Yeah.
hoping to get noticed. Like two losers.
Hoping to get noticed by non-famous,
Yes.
not by no way celebrity, like internal theme park industry.
You know?
Yeah, like somebody who,
designers.
like, an accountant that works for the Walt Disney Company. We were hoping maybe listen to one episode.
Better
And,
hook up
and
a
looks at the
Anaheim
Twitter
quad.
and looks at the Twitter to know what we look like. There's two factor there they have to follow.
A lot of
Yeah.
steps to this plan.
Anyway, Steakhouse 55, Kate, have you been?
I haven't been. That's the one in the Disneyland hotel?
Yes.
Yes.
And I have not actually been to the main restaurant, but they got a little lounge going there, and you can order off the main menu, and you also can get drinks there. And those are actual drinks.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I've been to the one at
Actual
California at
drinks?
the Grand Californian. They have like a lounge bar there. I've been to that one.
Yeah, the Hearthstone Lounge. I'll toss that out as like a dark horse favorite pick because it's usually pretty empty. And you can also just order a drink there and then just take it into the lobby and sit on one of the big lobby. It's just the massive Grand Californian lobby, often empty, and a very nice place to enjoy a drink. But what's the site of one of the most upsetting things? I'm remembering this now. I did that trick once, and I witnessed one of the most upsetting things I had seen on a Disney property, which was someone just put a baby down on the couch and started changing the diaper on the couch. And I can see the bathroom. I can see the entrance to the bathrooms like 20 feet away.
Wow.
And I'm just like sitting there just like holding a nearly finished beer. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to finish this and get the hell out of here.
Wow. Scott,
That was the traumatizing event. Sorry.
Scott, you have a baby. Like, is that normal? Is that
well,
a thing?
I don't know because I've never been in public
Right.
with the baby.
Right.
This is not an option in the current
Well, yeah.
time. That what flashed to me though is that you might, like there's been the change of tide where like if you gave side eye to somebody breastfeeding a baby, that would be weird, like because we've accepted that happens in public. But changing a baby, nobody finds anything like beautiful about changing a
Yeah,
baby.
I
This
think
is
it
not
was-
like, yes, do it wherever you please.
The fact that I was like finishing a beverage, maybe having a snack, and like other people around were eating, and there's just like, waste. Hello, human waste.
This is fecal matter.
Yeah.
Yes, very good.
Even if
Okay.
the thing making it is
Did you
cute.
see? Did you
This-
see the shit? Did you see the baby shit?
I did not. No. I looked away. I looked away too quickly when
That was my question, Kate, as well.
I did
I
not.
also wanted to know.
Because if you didn't see it, then it could have been worse. It's not.
It definitely could have
Not
been
to
worse,
downplay
but
your trauma, because like that is trauma what you went through.
I'm not.
I was.
I'm not
What?
so offended by somebody doing it in public, but the idea that like a piece might fall out easily,
Yeah.
and that's
Well, this
gross.
is again. Having been around a lot of baby shit, I think you're not really dealing with pieces.
It's a little more. Yeah, you're right.
yes.
It's a little more
Kind
squishy.
of one, yes, like semi-solid.
Right.
It'd be strange, and if the piece like were able to like roll or bounce or get near your beverage, that seems like beyond.
I mean,
physics, but,
It just
who
seemed like
knows?
a little chaos where like I should have said like, hey, if you want to go to the bath, I'll watch your stuff. If you want to go, like,
You would
I-
say that?
No.
I just extricated myself from if they had said like, hey, can you watch our luggage? We're just going to go change the baby. But then also like, well, at that point, why wouldn't you just have the bag man, there's cast members everywhere. I don't know. It was
Well,
just
why
a
are they
thing.
talking to you?
They didn't,
Just
thankfully.
a
They
friendly
didn't.
man in his 30s alone drinking a beer in a lobby of a hotel at a Disney resort. Why not talk to him?
I mean, the truth is that there's shit all over Disneyland. It's just that, like, usually, like, we don't see it. And also, like, there's tons of people constantly shitting themselves at Disneyland, and we don't see it because there's
Yes.
adults
yeah.
that need a diaper change. I mean, one of my like most like traumatic Disneyland memories was I shit myself as a child. And I was so like embarrassed. I was on a Girl Scout trip and I was like 9 and I was like so embarrassed that I shit myself, and I didn't tell anyone that I shit myself, and I didn't like want to deal with it, so I just like left the shit in my underwear for like hours at Disneyland. Because
And went on all the rides.
maybe I was younger than 9. 9 now seems kind of too old for that, but like it was bad. It was bad. I like left the shit in my like pants, and then like we had to like someone's mom had to like drive me home, and everyone was like, "What's that smell?" And I was like, "It's my Disneyland shit." Like I don't. It was so embarrassing.
Wait, did you cop to
No,
it?
I didn't cop to it, but like I feel like everyone knew. You know, like you know, kind of like if there's like if there's like a minivan full of like 4 girls, like you know who's the girl with shit in her pants.
Was there anything else about you that would have made them think, oh yeah, that's in line with Cait?
I think I was just like,
were
I'm
you
really like,
gross?
I'm not a quiet person. Like I was a very like extroverted child, and I was not talking at all. I was like, I'm sure they could tell because I just like wasn't talking. I was like, I remember being like very silent, just like in my own shame.
That has to happen at Disney 50 times a day.
Constantly.
Many times a day.
And I'm saying with like an
constantly.
older kid, obviously it's happening with little kids that still have a diaper, but like even like, kids in the 7 to 10 range constantly.
Oh yeah.
No way.
Adults too.
And you
Yeah, and adults
yeah,
too.
probably. Because you end up stuck in lines. You're in places where you've put in the time, you've put in the legwork. You don't even know where a bathroom is if you're not there all the time. So now you're going to you're going to give up your spot and go deal with. I mean, look, I wouldn't do this. I'm not justifying the doing of this. I'm just I'm getting myself in the head of someone who would shit their pants and then go on the Matterhorn 15 minutes later.
Say you're in line, Rise of the Resistance. I know there's a virtual queue, so it doesn't quite work, but it's say opening day Little Mermaid. It's 4-hour line. You wait 3 hours, 45 minutes. You're so close. You're alone. You're a single man in his 30s, and you shit in your pants.
Oh God.
I guess you could ask the person behind you, but then
No, you're never getting that spot back.
because they're going to be gone. It's a long line. I don't know. It's
Excuse
tough.
me, I shit my. Also, Rise of the Resistance maybe is good because you are like trapped. You're on a resistance, not a resist. You're on a what's the fake one? First order.
First order.
You're-
Yeah.
Yeah.
fake one. You're on a first order ship, and like you can't go backwards. Little Mermaid, you could technically leave.
That's true. You're right. Once you're off world on Rise of the Resistance, you have to just live with that shit in your
Oh
pants.
God. Get you.
You have to get
Yeah.
through the Star Destroyer with shit in your pants. Get back to Batuu, see Lieutenant Beck, and then Lieutenant Beck will allow you to go to the bathroom.
Oh my God.
Lieutenant Beck or Bex? I can't remember. Beck, I
That's
think.
back. B-E-K.
B-E-K.
Yeah, B-E-K.
correct.
I also wait, I was thinking about this when you're at the grocery store. If you use the front little thing that kids sit in, it can be a shelf, but it also is a seat. How many kids are sitting in that with a shitty diaper?
Every single one of
right.
them.
So people put their bread in that like right after.
Hopefully it's not out of a bag. Hopefully, although in some cases you maybe are getting like a sourdough loaf where you sort of bag it yourself, or it might like slip out. Yeah, if it's not fully contained, if there's like a one way out for the bread.
Yeah. Yes.
God.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Thought about any of this.
I use
Maybe
that
it's-
for cans. I use that spot for canned goods exclusively. So.
I'm never using it again now.
Yeah,
I don't use
now
it
you've put
anymore
it in my
after I
head.
thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it good that we're all, germ paranoid now?
Yeah. Well, I think I am a little more germ paranoid. I'm a little more, because of COVID, I am definitely more aware of, I think, how things actually spread.
Yeah, now that you say that, Sam's might be one of the biggest psychological hurdles once everything calms down a little and stuff opens back up. Because Sam's is that the most intimate like attraction thing?
Oh yeah, you're
on
getting
Disney
droplets
property.
for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sam is full of droplets. There's for sure aerosol spread.
They do it. That's one of the things. When you get a drink, they do. Who's ready for some
They
droplets?
spray their globules at you.
Yeah, like a social distance Sam inside would be impossible.
It's not possible.
There would be no.
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't put up barriers between people on the actual bar. So yeah.
And like
You'd end up with 2 customers.
forget sharing like a fishbowl with someone else.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
maybe
the
done for a long
alcohol
time.
kills somewhat, but yeah, as far as a straw is concerned.
Are we never all going to share a massive tiki drink
Never.
again?
Well, have we before?
Well, we have maybe not
Yes,
at Trader Sam's, but we have at Howl at the Moon.
Oh yeah,
The Universal City Walk, now closed, dueling
I
piano
loved
bar.
Howl at the Moon. I loved.
Were you Howl at the Moon person?
Well, let's take a
course.
jaunt over there, Kate.
Of course.
Let's take a jaunt to City
The
Walk.
best part about Howl at the Moon is that they convince you that you can like there's a a fake raffle that they do when you come in and you like give them your email address, and every single time you do it, you get an email back saying you won the raffle. You and your friends get a free party at Howl at the Moon, like if you come but like in this time period. And so like anyone can just have a free party where like everybody gets like half off drinks. You just have to like.
They were doing this.
Then
They were doing this grift to us whenever we did this, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. We all got the free party
we all
available.
got the emails.
It's the best. I love it. I've been to many of those free parties, and they're great. And I love the dueling pianos. Love the don't they have like buckets of like beers there and stuff like that?
Yeah,
it's a great place.
That's what we were drinking, a bucket of blue alcohol slime of some kind, like just thick sugar blue slime.
Love it.
In a
just terrible,
blue bucket.
terrible stuff.
And I don't think I'm rewriting history. I think I like at least 1 or 2 sugary drinks. I think I said this is disgusting.
Yeah, you called it. And the other thing, it was like $4 like Stoli or Sky Vodka or something.
Yeah. We had one night, and then when we went up to City Walk a couple weeks ago just to check it out. And Howl at the Moon is closed there. I think it was supposed to reopen on Hollywood Boulevard though. But
it did for like a week, and then it just closed forever.
Sad.
I think they called it. Yeah.
So so we'll see. Maybe that'll come back. Kate, did you party at City Walk as a youth as well?
No, we were more Disneyland people. I didn't party at City Walk as much, although, I love City Walk as an adult. I had my birthday at Bubba Gump last year.
Oh, geez.
Yes, a great place.
We should have had you on one of our many episode series about City Walk or Downtown Disney. Had we thrown that out, do you have a favorite place if you had to pick one to talk about at City Walk or Downtown Disney?
Okay, good question. Downtown Disney, my favorite place. It is the Uva Bar. Like, I love the Uva Bar.
I was pumped for the Uva Bar episode.
I really
I was very
it's
excited.
great.
Just go there for a while mentally.
See,
Even though, like, when you try to justify what's great about it, there's like nothing in the list. It just is a place where there are chairs and glasses of wine.
There's something so great about it,
Nothing
though.
you could say to just no, I love it. I think maybe for that reason, because maybe it is the lack of theming or anything.
it's nothing.
That is
It's
pleasant.
nothing. It's like a
It wipes the slate clean if you're like getting tired of little kid
Yes.
stuff and like cartoon characters and balloons in your face. Go be in the most vanilla place in the world.
I love the Uva Bar. Also, special shout out to the Downtown Disney Sephora, which is where I used to go and put sunscreen on for free every time I went to Disneyland.
Wow, that's a good hack. That's a good
Great
hack.
Yeah,
tip.
so
Really good
just
tip.
everyone do that. You don't have to bring your own sunscreen. Just go put it on at Sephora. They've got free trials of everything.
Wow, I've never heard this really excellent tip.
This might be a game changer because, like, if you bring your own sunscreen, so you bring a big bottle, do you carry it all day, leave it in the car? Oh, but plastic balloons out. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this. You leave like hand sanitizer or sunscreen in a car, and then it just warps if the car is too hot. It just like expands. Right. So, like, single serve at Sephora is a great tip.
And you can really you can use the free samples of some very expensive sunscreen for free.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Like celebrity
you can get some
endorsed,
celebrity brand sunscreen.
some
Kylie Jenner shit
product. Over there. Yeah, like some like Twitch star has a
Randy Gerber sunscreen.
Yeah.
Yes, Casamigos
Casamigos sunscreen.
branded sunscreen.
They should do.
Oh, could you
They
imagine?
should do a sunscreen line. Casamigos. Him and George.
Oh, yeah.
Randy and George should do a sunscreen line.
Oh, yeah, because they're always out, like, talking to the workers in the fields who are making the tequila.
Yeah.
And they need that sunscreen to protect them and the workers.
And-
they're good friends.
And they're two guys with wealthy looking skin. I would buy some skin shit from them.
Yeah. No, I think
That's pretty accurate. That is the way to describe that sort of like leathery husk.
Yeah, like a healthy, expensive leather.
Yeah, like a nice recliner.
Yeah.
You could make a nice recliner out of George Clooney or Randy Gerber's skin.
I like that.
Or line your car with it. Like,
Yeah.
the seats in my car be made out of George Clooney's skin?
I like that.
That implies that you were previously aware of Randy Gerber, who comes up on this podcast nearly every episode.
I mean,
I'm not sure why.
I'm a big fan of the Gerber family. Kaya, I love Kaya. Cindy Crawford, love her. The son has a bunch of bunch of face tattoos.
There's
love the
we
Gerbers.
touched on it. We did an episode on Casamigos on our Patreon, and I only briefly touched on the family, but the family has a lot of seemingly drama surrounding them as well.
Love them.
But we just tried to focus on the business side
Right.
of the Gerber brand and the Gerber group. Of course, the three men in the Gerber family who all are part of the Gerber group.
The Gerber group. I didn't know about the Gerber group.
Yes, and I'm trying to remember. I think there's Scott Gerber, there's Randy
It's
Gerber.
brothers, right? Yeah, and there's a mysterious third part. Or no, it's Casamigos that's the mysterious third partner.
Yeah, that's he's the party boy of Casamigos. But the Gerber group is a different thing. Those are the three brothers in the Gerber family.
Wow.
Folks, have you ever said to yourself, I love the fact that I've had the same few pair of sheets since just after college, and I've never liked them, but I just keep washing them over and over again, and 1 week, 2 weeks turns into 10 years, and I'm putting them back on the bed like it's a totally normal thing to do. Stop it. Knock it off. I'm going to tell you about a company called Brooklinen. They can be that little voice in your head that make the bad sheets go away forever, and they will fill your life with good sheets and joy, okay? Brooklinen has a variety of sheets, colors, patterns, and materials to fit your needs and tastes. They have over 50,000 five-star reviews, which, folks, look, that's a lot of good reviews, all right? 50,000? Are you kidding me? We don't even have that many good reviews on this podcast. And Brooklinen, here's the thing. They're more than sheets. They've got comforters, they've got pillows, they've got towels, even loungewear, and more. You can buy sheets, bedding, and pillows all at once, and then you save even more. So you can stack and you get a deal. You stack things you're buying, you get a deal is what I'm saying. Now, you're going to say, Mike, do you have Brooklinen? Of course I do, okay? I'm sleeping on these sheets. They're soft. I'm sleeping on their pillowcase, also soft. Very smart. I will say it's a smart look, a classic look. It's like a checkered pattern. And I walk in there, I go, look at these smart sheets. I lie down and I go, look at these soft sheets. And then I go right to Slumberland, one of my favorite lands. All right, so here we go. Don't wait. Do something nice for yourself. Go to brooklinen.com and use promo code RIDE to get 10% off your first order and free shipping. That's BROOKLINEN.com and enter promo code RIDE for your 10% off your first order, plus free shipping. brooklinen.com and use promo code, RIDE at checkout.
Scott, let me bring you back into the fold real quick. I have a question since you brought up the Uva Bar, which I know is one of your haunts. I have only very briefly been there. Have you been to Uva Bar since Downtown Disney reopened?
No, I haven't been there in general.
Okay,
I'm certainly thinking about it. I'm getting the hankering. And we actually haven't recorded an episode since this new plan that they are going to open some of California Adventure specifically for food, drink, and merchandise, which I'm very excited about. I feel like I might give it a shot. And this is maybe the way to finally get back to drinking at Disneyland, even in the tiniest regard. I don't know if you know about any of this, Cait, but I think what they're saying is an outdoor version of Carthay Circle and the Smoke Jumpers, the aviation-themed restaurant next to Soarin'. Will
it serves
be open.
The bad hamburgers.
Yeah, that's like the worst. Why that one? Of all the culinary experiences, but why not bring the Food and Wine Festival back then instead?
I agree with that. I don't know if it's just proximity. Like there's some money reason why they only want to open that little area right when you enter the park. And why not
Maybe that's like all they can like reasonably set up and staff and light.
I guess so, because you have to have something sit down, right? Like because you can't like have a bunch of people like walking around.
Getting hammered.
Yeah. I don't know, but they have the Food and Wine. People are just eating and walking around drinking. Like, I'm not really sure the reason.
I'm not sure. Those Daily Beast, that big expose about outbreaks at Downtown Disney has me so spooked. Like, I don't know if I will try it out. Honestly.
Wait, I don't know about this.
What does it say?
Oh, didn't it? Then I texted it. And
there was
I
something
think
in September, I think, wasn't it? Was it from September?
September and August. And basically, like, Disney is not, like, communicating about, like, if someone is positive. They're not doing a good job at letting other cast members know it's positive. There were positive tests. They weren't letting the union know in a timely manner, and I was shocked this wasn't brought up when everyone was complaining about Gavin Newsom's opening plans. But there was a statistic about like colleagues would disappear for days at a time, and no one knew why. 11 people from the 12-person horticultural irrigation team didn't show up to work for a full week.
Oh my God!
Is a section of the article. So. That combined with the lines we had been seeing at Downtown Disney, I think the thing that appealed to me going up the City Walk was how empty it was.
Yeah, nobody. Not at all. Oh, no, but they're killing full horticulture groups? I guess not killing them. Well, yeah, it seems like people were okay, but it doesn't seem like they were doing a good job. They weren't testing on site.
Oh, God.
So,
oh, man.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I mean, I think if you go in the middle of the day towards these reopened Downtown Disney, I'm sure the crowds are a lot less.
Were you saying that there was no one at City Walk?
It was
when we
light.
went up there, it was pretty light. There was as many security people, it seemed.
I went and it was crowded and it was scary. To Universal
really?
City Walk.
Wow.
It was like...
Was the polling place open? Do you think that? Do you remember if that was
No,
open?
I went like months ago. I went probably too early in the pandemic. Like it was like it was like one of the first places I went to just like see about going somewhere in public. And Jack and I went and we like got our temperatures taken and it was like I was expecting no one to be there. It was like fully packed, like all the restaurants like were full. Bubba Gump had all the outdoor seating like completely filled up. Like it was scary.
Yeah.
There's like long line to get into Hot Topic, long line to get into Voodoo Donuts. It was like
I think you maybe went when like everybody was like, oh my God, it's open, we got to go.
I think remember that time period when like restaurants like fully opened for some reason
In May.
Yeah, I think that's like when I went, and it was like they weren't inside, they weren't eating inside, but it was still like very scary.
Right.
Did you just get out of there, or did you try to
We
do
did like
anything?
one lap and then like immediately went home because it was too scary.
Wow. You know, I was thinking before this episode, I was like, well, this is one where we're going to talk about COVID a lot and where we'll say a lot of things like, you know, because when you go there and you get the wine and then, well, not right now, but, and I was thinking how If only this is maybe a little idea of an invention or some tech or an app that somebody could make. That if there was in 3 years from now, when all this is, I hope, done, if there was some kind of app that could extract mentions of COVID from every podcast episode where we all had to talk about it for a long time, so that they are listenable in the future.
Yeah.
To where we don't have this shadow on us. It'd be a lot of work. This app would, if it extracted all of the COVID references, it would be just like over a year's worth of material between every podcast that has to talk about it.
You guys should just.
Could it just?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, go
you
ahead.
guys should just replace. You should just have some word that you say instead of COVID that will be evergreen. We can't go right now because we all have, a conference.
We're all at a conference. We're all at a convention.
And then that'll be fine. People will be like, oh well, they had a conference.
They were out of town. Yeah.
Yeah, what if you replace COVID with conference? We can't go because of the conference.
It works.
It does work.
It works.
Because of the conference. Trump's response to the conference has been horrible.
It's just I'm sorry, I've been sleeping really bad just because I'm scared about where everything's going with the conference.
I hope we get a vaccine for the conference soon. Not as good.
Yeah.
Works for me. Yeah. Well, someone developed this. I think
A lot of people say the conference isn't real, but people are going to the conference.
Yeah.
A lot of people in Orange County deny that the conference exists.
The conference is the most popular event in American history.
That's my other thing that worries me about Downtown Disney, period, is the location in Orange County. That was another memorable bar experience I had in Orange County at Disneyland once, at California Adventure. I waited an hour to get into the Cove Bar, sat down, and before I could say hello to the bartender, some skeezy looking Orange County crust punks walked up to the service bar, ordered 2 zombies to go, and got served before me. And I was just like, no, please. I've just been waiting in the sun for an hour. I just got snaked by these guys with backpacks that are mostly straps. I don't understand what's going on.
So you hate the whole county now.
It's a strange
Two
place.
guys cut in front of you in line, and now the county's on notice.
It's, all the other, there's other stuff in Orange
There's
County.
not a shortage.
No. The opinion's correct, but yeah.
Yeah.
Which, hey, that's one thing to talk about. We all live, sort of in Valley, LA, this part of the city. Disneyland's way down in Anaheim, Orange County. We love to go and drink a good amount, but at some point, somebody's got to worry about the drive home. How much do you wish there was a more reliable transportation back and forth? How great would that be?
Oh
I
my
would
gosh.
love if that existed. Have you done the train? I've always wanted to try doing the train, but it seems too complicated because you have to take a bus.
I've gotten... Yes, you have to take a bus. I've gotten so close to trying it, and then it's always just but then it's another 90 minutes on the trip, maybe both ways.
I think so.
And it's just, it's too hard. My sister took it one time when my family was here and she was working, and she took a train down. The train got delayed about 5 hours.
Oh.
She showed up at midnight. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's some of the risk. Yeah, if it's off, it's extremely off.
I've tried to figure this out on behalf of the company. Is there just a shuttle bus that runs every 10 minutes from some spot in LA?
From the lot, from the studio.
Sure.
Lot. Mm-hmm.
That would be nice. I mean, I've rarely ever had enough to drink that a nice 5-hour walk in the sun won't, get me sober. But It would be nice to go, I could have 2 drinks at the end of the night and get on a bus and be okay. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Usually I'm just eating so much food that I can't ever really break through. As a teen we would get blackout drunk at Disneyland, but now that I'm 30, I can't ever really get that drunk at Disneyland because I just eat so much. I love the food there. The thing I love almost more than the drinking is the eating. They're tied. They're tied.
Yeah.
They're tied, but I can't get that drunk. It's also, it's so much
What's
walking
your,
and sweating. Like you can't retain any of the poison.
Yeah.
On a like light day, you're getting those 10,000 steps at least pretty easily. On a fairly typical day, you're maybe getting like 26,000. Like it's a ton of what? It's like way more than you do regularly. Like you'd never like actively go on that amount of hike or something, or maybe somebody better than me would. But you do so much exercise that counteracts it, which I think helps you go for that like long distance. I've been drinking since 10:30 a.m. or whatever.
Yeah, the hardest I've ever really gone, I feel like the hardest I'll go is like 2 Carthay Manhattans back to back at 2 p.m.
Ugh.
And then
That's the best. When you get like a heavy buzz at Carthay Circle in the middle of the day and you don't have anywhere to drive anytime soon and you're just like, that's the best. I miss that feeling.
Yeah,
I
miss it a lot.
Yes, especially if I have a fast pass for Mission Breakout and I'm leaving with 2 Carthays inside. I mean, there's nothing better than
Nothing
it.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kate, do
One
you
of
have
my
any
favorite.
Sorry, Scott, what were you saying?
Oh, so it was just one of my favorite experiences. Like this is way up there in the Disneyland drinking. Was like having a weird little Anaheim expedition with my wife Erin. On the way down, going to the Anaheim Fry's Electronics, discovering that it had a weird space video that played in a loop all the time. It was a really rainy day, and then we like raided in the rain, and then got into like very warm Carthay Circle. And then had a couple Manhattans, and by the end of it, I was like, "I'm gonna be the guy on the screen." I was so fired up from the Manhattans. I'm gonna figure out a way that it's not gonna be that old astronaut. It's gonna be me. And then I did it. It happened. And this was entire. I don't know if you know about this.
I know
Kate.
all about this. I followed this very closely.
Okay,
it's something
great.
as someone who also loves fries, like, and this was big for me when this happened for you.
Oh, wait, because we talked about this. That's right, because you grew up near the. Is it El Segundo?
The Manhattan Beach,
the Hawaiian
Manhattan
one?
Beach, like tiki themed, the Polynesian themed fries was my hometown fries, and I'm just proud to be a hometown fries girl.
To be so lucky to grow up with one in your backyard, it's almost better than having a theme park.
I'm very blessed. I had a very blessed childhood at that fries. It's where I got my first iPod.
Oh, wow.
It was big. It's a big fries for me.
Jeez. Do you remember
they're
can you
still
recall like a
selling
DVD
that
or a CD?
generation.
I know.
They stopped right after that one. It's a top-notch fry. It's
a
real
great
good
fries.
Yeah.
Mike, you were heading somewhere though.
Oh, I was just going to ask, because, you're talking about blackout drunk. Of course, this makes me retroactively, as a kid, very uncomfortable. Like, was it, in my kid brain, it was like, people were just looking at you, and it was like danger was around every turn because of employees, or was it literally no one cared? And like you just had a nice time.
No one cared.
when
We
you were
would just
drunk?
like rage hard at like World of Color, like chugging like water bottles full of like Evan Williams. Like that was the vibe. It was great. It was pure teenage bliss. It was great.
So it was just perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I would imagine the scenario is I'm whatever 13, 15. Even if somebody had like a little like travel sized bottle of liquor they like showed me before we went into security, I would have been sweating so profusely the whole day.
I feel like,
But it's obviously like no one cares.
I think I feel like it was different because we were like cute like teen girls, and like you just get away with like so much when you're like a privileged like teenage like sweet looking girl. So we would like, I don't think we like thought rules applied to us. I mean, it's a big it's why a lot of problems in the world exist because of that phenomenon. But it worked really well for us at the time when it came to sneaking alcohol into Disneyland. We like weren't that scared about it. I guess like sometimes I would like, when I stopped bringing them into the water bottles and started bringing them into flasks, then I would try to hide them, and that would be a little more stressful.
That's
Right.
harder. Yeah. But like Marissa Strickland has told us about like grad night shenanigans at Disneyland. I mean, grad night is lawless at Disneyland or
They
Universal
banned it when
Studios,
by the
so-
time I was a senior. They banned grad night for my school because like someone OD'd or something.
Wow.
Oh, that's right. I remember that being a punishment. I don't think my class did it, but I think maybe a different class at my high school. That is the punishment. If somebody, which is so crazy, somebody dies or something. No Disneyland.
We had to do ours at Dave and Buster's. That was our grad night. It was at Dave. It was like in. I think it was like in Orange County somewhere. It was like a far away Dave and Buster's. I remember being on a bus for a long time just to go to Dave and Buster's.
Not as good.
Irvine or something.
Probably like
it's not bad though.
Jason, we were at a grad night, and I do think there was a kid that was. Am I wrong? Were you here? Where there was a kid that was too drunk, and there was a problem, and security was trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah. Someone had to intervene. Yeah, because
we were trying to hang out at like Mad Tea Party or something, and not be hassled by some drunk teen.
Yeah, we just wanted to hear covers of songs for our youth. We just wanted to see wholesome covers with words cut out, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so
I'm not sure I know an example of what you mean. This is the kind of thing that was at the Mad Tea Party?
Well, there was a set list that they would do every night. Prince's Let's Go Crazy was in it. There was like a Blink-182 song in there, I think, as well. Mm-hmm. We'll get to this on the Mad Tea Party episode eventually. I'll find the full set list, but I think there would be a word or two. I think we would think
word or two.
Here
like
comes an inappropriate line in one of these songs, and they would like change it to make sure it wasn't offensive. I don't think it was like. I'm trying to think of a dirty Blink-182 song. I don't think it was so bad, but I think they changed little things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When you were talking about like blackout drunk, I was recalling that there has been one time in my life that I was that at a Disney park, and it doesn't fit with the topic technically because it was at Disney World. And I don't even know if blackout. Well, I don't know, like vaguely on the line.
I'm using blackout like pretty liberally. I mean, like just drunk, capital D drunk.
Right. Yeah. That line where you know the difference. Yes, it's not like I remember how I got home and such, but But yeah, definitely the drunkest I ever was, which was started with a pregame at the California Grill, which is on top of the Contemporary Hotel in Disney World. And that's where you can like get the monorail from the hotel. You just go down into the lobby and it passes through the hotel. And there was a monorail ride that was so drunky. And I was just like, let me look at photos of this. And I just found one that I did not know existed. And I'm going to share the screen so you can see this. This right here is the drunkest I've ever been on.
Oh my God.
I think it shows.
Jesus.
Wow.
Oh, that's so good.
10 years ago, I'm like swinging between like bars. I'm like dangling off of we had the car to ourselves. There was nobody else in there. And I'm like, my feet are up on the seat. I'm like swinging like a disrespectful teen, really. There's no other way to say it. And I'm like, I'm giving a very cool finger that is also between my legs, so it looks fairly sexual.
I don't know what you're
I love it. This is peak cool. This is so cool. This is peak cool.
It's pretty. I felt cool. I certainly felt good. Look, here's some other. I'm like hopping between cars.
There's other teens too.
Look at these.
There's friends.
These were people
one's in
I
a
knew.
Pirates of the Caribbean shirt.
These were the shout out to the Cadelia brothers. So we came with them. But yeah, pretty
wow.
loopy here.
Wow.
But if the worst thing that I did was like jump over some seats in a monorail car where we were bothering no one else. Like it's not like I was like kicking children in the face. I'd say that's not so bad.
Go back to that previous photo.
Yes, yeah. This one?
Are you? I'm trying to figure out how many shirts are you
that's a lot of
wearing?
shirts.
Oh, it was cold. This is December.
Oh, it's December. Okay,
and since I'm from California, I don't have warm clothes. So this is always me in New York too. I don't like have a nice thick coat. I just wear like 6 layers of regular clothes.
And that's actually how they taught us in the Boy Scouts. That's how they teach you to dress for like cold weather hiking and camping, is because rather than one big coat, layers, so you can just take them off or put them on as needed.
Oh,
so
yes, indeed.
You were being responsible.
Yes.
In one sense.
This is a photo of a responsible person. There's also me on the ground.
Oh wow.
Oh.
No, that's
boy.
bad behavior.
That's not
pretty bad behavior from the good boy.
When we started this podcast, Jason and I did a lot of opposition research type research on Scott, and we did not find these photos. And I don't know if we would have started the podcast.
I don't know.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
If we realized,
kill the whole thing
It's pretty
entirely.
in a monorail.
It's
Scott?
pretty disrespectful.
Disrespectful. I will defend. I will proffer a defense because we were down last year, and I was on a bus once to Disney Springs last year, and there were some retirees that were gone. So I had to say, at Disney World, they kind of encourage the vacation spirit, the vacation indulgence, because let's be frank, they just care about the bottom line. So there were some people who were you were the young person version of gone, and they were the like used car dealership owner version of gone. So
Well, and I didn't have to drive anywhere. When you're in the vacation kingdom, you can just go crash at home, and I made it back safe. And I remember did Harry Potter for the first time the next morning with like the thickest hangover I've had in a very long time.
Oh, sure.
What does it take for me to not? Do I just need to, like, in light of these recent photographs, I just want to say that I'm learning, I'm progressing. Wait, does the public apology do
You
it?
need to make a
Is there
donation.
gonna
You need to make a donation to monorail carpets.
Yes.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
good. I will say,
Okay. I'll find out who cleans
Yeah.
them. I'll find out if there's a service, and I'll like invest in a new vacuum.
you better hope though that those brothers you were with don't pull a Bobulinski and go on Podcast The Ride and sell you out. And you better
Yes.
hope that there's not a laptop floating around.
Yeah, because if more comes out, you will be punished with the. You will no longer allowed to be saying the phrase cocktail or alcohol on the podcast. You will only be allowed to say adult libations.
No, don't make
Like
me do it.
any
No.
other-
Cait, there's this thing I've been complaining about for a long time. I think that we are the first podcast about Disney parks where we'll say, like, then we get drunk. We got drunk with drinks, because almost every other one dances around the phrase for like the longest little socially distant dance until they finally get to, I may have had a few special potions or two, maybe perhaps an adult
Oh, God.
libation. I won't say any more.
It's either that. I mean, both ends. This is a time where both ends of the spectrum are actually very tedious. Of like, I supped upon an adult libation on one end, and the other end of like, here's the places to get Jack Daniels at Disney World. Like, it's like, all right, guys, these guys. No, thank you. Not for me. Either of you.
I found a picture. I found a picture of myself as a drunk teen at Disneyland. But it's
Hell yeah.
Oh, please
it's
share.
not.
This is more
It's-
wholesome coming of age.
It's not as
business.
good.
This is
It's
fun.
not as good. Hold on. Okay, here's me.
Yes.
This.
Oh, you have a
Okay, so
mustache.
here's what we would do.
Mustache.
Here's what we would do. We would get drunk, and then we would make the face painters paint our faces at the face painting booth. But they have very strict rules for what adults are allowed to get, or like non-children. So they can't give you a full face paint. They can only give you like a partial face paint. So we would just get the mustache from the pirate.
Oh. Which that's good. That reads as like, you got a porn stash
And
or
it was
something
truly annoying. It was
silly.
like in that era. Remember when like mustaches were funny as like a thing, as like a cultural
Yes.
thing? That was like
Hilarious.
around that era.
Yeah.
There was an article recently, I think in like Vulture or something, that was about the people who it's like, well, I got a mustache tattoo on my finger in 2011, and I'm still dealing with it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And that is the funniest thing I
I
can
like
think of.
I like Hall & Oates a ton. Definitely one of my favorite bands, and I've seen them live a lot. And this like dissipated a little. In fact, I saw them in Vegas, and there was none of this. But then when I saw them at the Hollywood Bowl one time, the amount of fake press-on mustaches with these fucking irony hounds attending this show. This is not good. Don't like this mustache parade. It's not about the mustache. It's about the music.
Yeah.
I've never been. I'm on the record. I've never been a fake mustache guy.
That's good.
The whole memifying of mustache. Over Tom Selleck, I like Tom Selleck fine except for his political views, but
I feel like
the mustache, I could take
it's a dark
or leave.
period of history when we like memified mustaches. I don't think it was a good era. But maybe it was a simpler time, It was like we weren't all so. That was enough for us, just like a funny mustache.
We were at brunch. We were talking about mustache.
We were at brunch and we all had mustaches and the Cats videos. Those were the days.
Simpler time.
Oh no, I found an actual picture of me as a teen black. Much more. This is a better. Okay. I have a bunch of them from like this one trip where we got drunk as teens at Disneyland.
Send us any you're willing to make public, and we can black out people's eyes. Or
we can add a mustache to people too. If they had a
my
mustache.
friend, her parents bought us a hotel room at the Grand Californian. Wait, can you see this?
Oh, nice.
This is us as teens getting like wasted in the hotel room. Here's me, like I'm front and center, drunk with a different mustache.
Different mustache, clearly a different occasion.
And I'm like just gone. Here's me, like also wasted on the big
Grizzly River
Rapids. Oh, these are great. Okay, here's us at the Ariel's Grotto, just drunk out of our teenage minds. Truly, just.
But you're having the best time. You're jammed into a phone booth. Truly not an appropriate.
Well, now that's
thing
old-fashioned fun. Now that's what we like
That's
around
old-fashioned
here.
fun.
Doesn't work in the era of the conference.
I would get fake. I would get drunk and I would get fake names stitched onto Disney hats. So I've made up a name that obviously isn't my name. I got it stitched onto a hat.
Wait, in this case, the name is
Moxie. Which is like something a teenager would think is like a cool name, I feel like.
Hilarious, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if you had a friend named Moxie.
I had no one. I never met a Moxie.
Is there a chance like Jason and I are like in the background of one of these photos, like being very upset?
Probably. I mean, look how annoying. Can you imagine like the level of annoying we would be as a group? There's like 5 of us. We all have different like face paints on, and we're drunk teenage girls. It's a great vibe.
But you spent money on property, and that's the only thing that matters. That's the thing that matters in the long run.
There really is. Also, I feel like, there's a level of public intoxication, but like, what's the worst you guys are going to do? You're going to like run around and yell. That's what everyone's doing at Disneyland.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you're doing that. Even at a concert, this would be a problem. Or a sporting event, perhaps. But here, it's what's.
Oh, here's the poor employee that had to like indulge us with our face paint.
How many times did you get a mustache at Disneyland?
Honestly, like I had an annual pass and I did it every time for like a full like 2 years or something. Like it was it's not like a great part of my life. I'm not proud of it, but I did it a lot. I did it like way too much. Like when I say that was a dark time in history, I mean that was mustache memes were a dark time in my personal history. I was very much like a mustache person. I thought mustaches were very funny. I just thought it was funny that I had them painted on me. Looking back, I must cringe. I must cringe at my past self. But what are you going to do?
That mustache.
I don't think you should feel bad, though. I do think the volume that apparently exists of you with the mustache maybe does make it funny. Maybe if it was one off, you go, well, that wasn't the funniest thing in the world. But if you have like 2 years worth of pictures of it, I do kind of.
I really have a lot.
That's a pretty. That's a commitment to a bit.
Yeah, that's a real commitment.
I mean, I am
there.
serious about committing to bits, so I guess I haven't really changed.
Which wouldn't you, though, you say it's a dark time. If you were afforded the opportunity to safely go tomorrow to Disneyland, get a mustache, and drink a lot, I mean, this era you describe as dark sounds
honestly,
better than the
it was
whole
the
of
best
2020.
time of my life. I can't lie.
Yeah. Do you have a recommendation of a restroom for a bunch of teenagers to take shots at?
The family
at Disneyland?
restroom in the Bugs World. Is it still there?
Oh, gone.
Oh, it's gone.
Oh, no.
Okay, the family restroom, though, if you can get one that's not like a main restroom, like one that you can lock the door and it's just you guys in there, that's the best place to go do shots.
Wow. Oh.
Well, that tiki room, single stall bathroom, or is there? Maybe there's two. That's a little bit of a high traffic area, though, but it is very small. I wouldn't. You can lock the stall in Carthay Circle, but you can't lock the door.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I'd have to go do some recon here to figure out what would be the best for a teen.
And you never all came out and then had some employees say, "Wait a minute, what were you all doing in there?"
No one ever said,
You reek of booze, and your name isn't Moxie, is it?
"Show me your ID."
Moxie, I knew I'd catch you again. You thought you could disguise yourself with that mustache. Nice try, Moxie.
This was all what I thought would happen. If I was hanging out with you when I was a teen, I would have been like, "Oh my God, they're going to know. They're going to know you're not Moxie." And I would just be freaked the whole time.
Guess what? They fell for it. They thought my name was fucking Moxie. Those fucking losers. They believed every last word of it. Those fools.
There's still people that go, "You remember that Moxie? She was very nice. She had a mustache on." It was a very
mustache girl named Moxie.
Another fake name I got once was I just got Britannica on the back.
Wow, that's long. That
they
fit
did
is
it.
Impressive.
I had picked a long one.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
That's
for
good.
The Stitcher.
It's
like Westworld. You can go and have a new identity just for that day.
That's a good point.
We would do that. We would get drunk and
remembering-
talk to people in British accents and stuff and pretend. We were just little annoying little trolls, but it was fun.
That's a real teen bit. He's doing an accent.
Yeah.
Or the funny guy at the office
Yeah.
just starts talking in a Cockney accent for no reason. That would drive me up the wall at my
Just
old day
purely
jobs.
annoying.
Yeah.
The opposite of charming.
Yeah, I've had guy who won't stop doing Stewie from Family Guy.
That's pretty rough. Yeah.
I've also had guy who won't stop doing Jason Bateman from Dodgeball.
Ooh.
What?
Specific.
Why that one?
Yeah, very specific. I was gonna say, Scott, you bringing that up, I do have some pictures from when I went with my high school marching band at 18. I have my friend sober climbing all over like you were doing in the monorail.
I mean, you might do that even without alcohol. It took
some
alcohol for me to overcome my reverence for the place. That's really what it did.
And then
knocked out my inhibition and the inherent utmost respect that I have for monorails.
Of course. Folks, Michael here. You may know this about me. I'm a bit of a tall man, and sometimes it's hard to get comfortable. I've got a few different cheap, crappy plastic chairs here at the apartment, and it's not always the best. I lie down a lot. I feel like on the hard floor. It's hard being tall and having a weird long spine like I do. So I was very pleased to learn about a company called Yogibo. Now you're asking, what do they do? What do they make? They make beanbag chairs. Yeah, and okay, now I know what you're thinking here. You're thinking, oh, you mean like a thing I had when I was a teen? Like an angsty teen? I had a neon pink beanbag chair in my room. It would leak styrofoam constantly. No, that is not what I'm talking about, because Yogibo has completely changed the game. They've stepped up to reinvent the furniture for your home and hundreds of other products that are making you feel good. They've got patented beanbags that are made with insanely durable cotton, spandex blend, and special frictionless beads. That's the difference. The old, neon pink beanbags had friction beads. All covers can be interchanged, removed, and washed. They even have outdoor covers you can swap out at any time for your balcony or backyard. Grab yourself a beer, soak in the sun, or go to town. And when I think of go to town, it means take a nap. Now, they use a special blend of proprietary fill made right here in the U.S. Every piece of furniture is assembled in New Hampshire by a team of crafty magicians. Now, folks, doesn't that sound great? Don't you want all your products to be made by crafty magicians? I certainly do. YogiBo has helped millions around the world feel more relaxed, and it helps them concentrate by better providing a sensory experience like no other. They're super great for chronic pains, stress, and anxiety. It's lightweight, it's easy to move, yet incredibly durable, so everyone in your family can use them. I was just lying in one now before I got up to do this ad, and I'll be honest, I didn't want to get out of it. I didn't want to get upstairs and do the ad because I was lying in a YogiBo beanbag, all right? And that's not just because I'm lazy, okay? Don't even make that accusation. It's because it's comfortable. Get 15% off with the exclusive podcast code RIDE at www.yogibo.com. That's 15% off with exclusive podcast code RIDE. Lock your color in today. And then I'm remembering, because of Disney World, I actually think the most drunk I ever was at a Disney park was 2 Disney World trips ago when I went with my friend Luke and his wife. I was a third in their vacation.
And they're not a quad.
No sexual things, but a third in the vacation. And Luke and we were at the Abracadabra, and I think we may have had 3 Manhattans at the Abracadabra, which is right by Epcot Center, right by, I can't think of the name of the entrance. Help me out here. The greatest entrance.
The International Gateway.
International Gateway, of course.
And Cait, it's a magic-themed bar. If you had to pick up on that.
Thank you.
Yes, it's fantastic. Could there be a magician doing a trick? Sure, but there's not. Oh, well. But yeah. Luke's wife had gone to the bathroom, and Luke and I were sitting there, and there's a woman with her husband, and they had been drinking, and this woman came over and was significantly older than us, and in front of this man, who we assume was some sort of a partner, just started hitting on us, basically propositioning us. And kind of insulting Luke's wife as well in the process.
In what regard?
Nothing. As far as insulting, was nothing major, but it felt maybe dismissive is a better word. You both of you are very attractive, both of you are very handsome. Who's that woman over there? And we were with it enough to know what was going on, and then the guy was just in the conversation, enjoying it or just helpless to stop it. And I remember Luke's wife came back out, and we bolted as fast as we could. And we're trying to and still to this day, we're trying to actually figure out the series of events that led to this. Because we're trying to piece it together of we didn't talk to this woman before because we were leaving. We just stood up, and then this woman started to hit on us. And so
There's one event in this series. The event is you guys being friggin' hunks. Don't sell yourself short.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Look, we're both about 6'3". We're both from the Midwest. I don't know.
Yeah. Corn-fed.
We're both
corn-fed hunks.
We're both corn-fed hunks in our mid-30s.
Hunks of corn.
Yeah.
They were fed so much corn that they got so tall, like a corn stalk.
But
that's my problem. I didn't eat enough corn.
I do. Every
as a
time I
kid.
hear the term corn-fed, I just think of boys getting force-fed tons of corn. That's the picture it conjures.
Well, it feels like an animal. It feels like a thing you do to
milk.
an animal.
For some reason, milk and
torture.
corn. I picture a big bowl of corn with a big jug of milk, and that's all you eat.
I definitely drank a lot of milk and ate a lot of corn.
That's what it feels like from being someone from Southern California, LA area. I'm I had never been to the Midwest. I just thought that's what corn-fed meant.
It's not. I don't think that's totally wrong.
It's not off. Yeah, school lunch came with a carton of milk every day. Milk with cereal for breakfast. Milk with a glass of milk with dinner.
Sounds gross.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Yeah,
in hindsight, it is gross.
Yeah.
Would we ever, this episode's called Drinking at Disneyland, and yet we've made the leap that this is about, adult libations. We could have devoted a whole lot of this episode, and still could, to all the various milks that you could drink.
So many milks.
There's a lot of milks.
Yeah,
I don't mean that Star
especially-
Wars stuff. Like that doesn't technically. I want like cartons of milk.
Well, that's something we figured out a few years ago, where if you just want a little snack, you can order the kids' meal, or once or twice I've seen Mike order the toddler meal, which is usually just a scoop or two of mac and cheese and a carton of milk, maybe some apple slices.
That's so
Well,
cute.
what I'll do is I will order that if it's an app in-app, because I don't want to say
Yes.
toddler meal because I don't
Yeah.
have a child. But if it's in the app and I can just place the order and then pick it up, then I don't have to actually say it's a child's meal or the toddler meal.
Hey,
And if
next
you want a
time
little
when
snack-
we get to go in a couple years, you can use my son as a cover,
Wow.
so you can get your milk.
Scott, give me the kid. Give me the kid. Hey, all right, here we go.
You run.
Toss him over here.
Hey, it's for him.
Hey,
Toddler
open.
meal. It's for this thing. This kid
Yanking
right here.
him by one arm, using the app with the other, dragging him along the ground.
Yeah. Not for me. It's for him.
Well, Mike, this is kind of breaking news. I just got this. Jane just texted this to me. Coming to McDonald's Disney World Happy Meals.
I know. I know
toys.
all about this.
Okay.
There is
So
a
this
series
is-
of McDonald's Happy Meal toys to commemorate, I think, the 50th anniversary of Disney World. And it's, they very much seem like stuff we collected when we were kids, but it'll be like Mickey and the Tower of Terror at McDonald's,
Wow.
which
Yeah.
is very exciting to see the parks represented at McDonald's. And I think those are appearing soon, supposedly.
You know what they should have?
Yeah,
You know what they should
November.
have as a Happy Meal is the now non-existent McDonald's French fry booth outside of Thunder Mountain Railroad. They should have a toy.
Yes.
Isn't it called like
They
Westward
should have a
Ho
toy
or
of that
something?
little cart that used to sell McDonald's French fries.
Yeah, I think at the time people thought that was a little odd, but now I think we're almost nostalgic for that.
It was like
Sure.
I was so sad when that went away. But they replaced it
Yeah.
with put the chimichangas there, and those are pretty good. So
Here we go. I remember
yes.
correctly. It says Westward
I guess
Ho.
that's not
Westward Ho.
it. That's not at Disney World, so it wouldn't count for the 50th anniversary Happy Meal.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
We were
this
the
was
lucky
my
ones.
one of my favorite spots. This
California.
French fry stand. You could just get French fries and drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Whoa, and it says there's gold in them thar
I love
fries.
this.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
That's great. Wow. Yeah. Well, if you want to do the full episode about the French fry cart,
yeah, we're ready.
I
Seems
could
like
go
the
on
kinda
and on.
crap
I have
we
a
would
lot
do.
to say about that cart. One of the best carts in all the land.
That's the era, and I like now Disneyland especially has gotten so crazy expensive, and I know getting to drink and have an annual pass is all nice privilege we all have usually been able to afford, but 10 years ago it was such a different money landscape for Disney. Like the annual passes they were just giving
Yeah.
away. Like you could basically get an annual pass and go a decent amount for like slightly over a day ticket. And now it's like 50 times that amount of money. So that
Yeah,
I romanticize that era too of when I had first come to LA and was going to Disney.
SoCal resident.
When my family, came to visit like once or twice the first time, they would get like a few day park hoppers, and we go down there. And then they're like, "Oh, you live here? You can turn this into an annual pass." I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, just pay us like $30." I was like, "Okay," and then you just have an annual pass for a year.
Yeah. It was fantastic that era.
Yeah.
It was like Six Flags where like they were
They were
giving
so
them away.
cheap.
Yeah.
I'm nostalgic for the time before I paid, nearly $1,000 up front for an annual pass to a place that now has been closed for 8 months.
Because of the
that was-
conference.
The conference.
The conference.
The conference. I like if I just hadn't gone that one day. I don't know when. I mean, at this point, it's like starting to loop around the full year. So maybe I just get it back, or most of it, or I
Well-
can go so far into the future.
There's rumors now because Tokyo Disney is canceling annual passes. They're just canceling the program.
yeah.
And people
Yeah.
are thinking it's possible they do that here for a little while. So who knows? I'm not
What
saying.
becomes of me? Are they just gonna take my money and I don't want to get it back?
Probably. Disney's like broke, aren't they?
No.
Aren't they running out of money?
They've
And they already have my
yeah.
money, so they're not going to give it back to me willingly.
Well, Tokyo's refunding everyone with the passes.
Yeah, I mean,
but-
Disney will refund here if that's what they're doing.
But I think Disney is getting cash poor. The Oriental Land Company that runs Tokyo Disney might have more cash on hand and the ability to just refund it, especially if they have like government subsidies. So yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious to see if Disneyland would cancel the annual pass program because I feel like it would just make everyone even madder.
They
in
can't
California.
do that. I feel like they can't. They won't do that.
I don't know.
Their business model out here at Disneyland is like 70, 30, 80, 20 locals going to Disneyland, which is what Florida has become. Usually it's the reverse in Florida. It's mostly tourists and a small percentage of locals. But yeah, it'll be interesting when the parks reopen out here.
Can I talk about a way that Disney could maybe get some of this money back in their pockets? And we've touched upon this here and there. The idea, this general thing of that you can drink in downtown Disney and you can drink in California Adventure, but you cannot drink in Disneyland Park proper unless you are sneaking it into a restroom. Doesn't it seem like if they're going to bring it back, isn't now the time? Like, why not? They've obviously they started doing it in Galaxy's Edge. That's the tradition is starting to crumble a little bit. Why not? I feel like people will be so ready and so excited to drink in Disneyland. And I wanted to bring up this question. Drinking spots, if you could put some spots into Disneyland proper. And space is limited. It doesn't always have to be a sit-down restaurant. We know they can't build those super easy, but we were just looking at the Westward Ho McDonald's fry cart. If there was this kind of thing for beers or adult sarsaparilla or what have you, I mean, like, are there places where you wish you could like get a drink themed to the land that you're in?
A Pirates of the Caribbean bar would be like so perfect. You could get like rum drinks and like, I mean, you could put that like in the New Orleans Square, like where all the pin shops and shit. Just knock out one of those overpriced jewelry stores and put in a bar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they already have the like alcohol-free mint juleps.
Exactly.
That's an easy switch over.
Who wants that? Why do you want a non-alcoholic? That just seems like, I mean, if you're a youngster, perhaps, but like, just like to use the name. There's something about creating a new mocktail idea that's interesting. But like to take something that is supposed to have alcohol and just not have it seems odd.
I think I've said all this before in piecemeal in the last 3 years of the podcast, but yes, it like mint julep with alcohol. You can get a beer at the Golden Horseshoe or at a restaurant over by Big Thunder. I think I've even proposed the idea of leveling that restaurant and making a double-decker restaurant of some kind, like a saloon that you can overlook Big Thunder.
That's great.
Big Thunder, yes, indeed.
Yes. Some sort of a observation deck in Tomorrowland where you can get a neon blue glowtini with a little cube that lights up, and you overlook Tomorrowland in the park. That's a slam dunk. And then there's one more, and I'm trying to think of what it is.
Jungle Cruise.
Jungle. Oh, yes. By the new area, the new
Tropical Hideaway.
Tropical Hideaway is a perfect place for a small variety of tiki drinks, similar to Trader Sam's. And sell the mugs as well, but they're different mugs. You got to go in park to get these mugs. This is all slam dunk stuff. And you don't have to, don't allow it, walk around if you really need to like ease into this more. You just have it be like local, like in the actual spot.
Do like similar to like Oga's, that method, like,
Sure. If
an hour in there or something, if you need to, if they're concerned about like IDing people or that sort of stuff. I mean, I recognize that there are a lot of minors and people underage who go to Disneyland alone or whatever, and it's safe and it's comfortable. And so I get that concern. I think there's a lot of pearl clutching on the topic of like alcohol going in the park. Walt walked in, but Walt was a lush. I mean, I've had Walt's drink of
his
at
drink
the Carthay.
is like pure like gasoline.
It's scotch over crushed ice with a twist of lemon rind, and it's good.
I hated it. I was
it.
like, this is just drinking scotch. I thought it would be.
Yes.
I just ordered it because like it said it was Walt's drink, and I didn't even read the description. But it's like, it's just drinking scotch.
Yeah, it's just scotch over ice, which is a drink I like to have. I am, again, a total lightweight, so I can have one at Disneyland if I'm driving, because maybe a second if I'm like walking around and eating a big meal for hours. Cait, I do agree with what you said. Like, I just eat all day. I just burn off the calories from walking around so much. I'm just constantly eating. I just started packing Cliff Bars more when I go to the parks, because I'm like, I cannot spend money on like a shitty sandwich again. You know,
they're not shitty. No, none of the food there is shitty. How dare you?
Some of the food is magical. It can be magical and also awful.
Okay,
like
you gotta. The best drunk food, while I'm thinking of it, is the hot Cheeto-esque mac and cheese cone at the
Yes. At the
at the
Cozy
Cozy
Cones.
Cones.
in
that's my
Cartland.
go-to.
Yeah,
like, I'm
yeah.
drunk. It's the end of the day. I need to eat something.
Ooh.
I love those cones
They're so
in general,
good.
and I like that. And they're like, you can, while you're eating them, you go, I know how this could be 50% better, but there's something very satisfying about the texture of
Yes.
the bread in the cone. That's like very satisfying to eat. When now it's like not the best tasting bread, but you do like just something in your mouth that's
like
nice
The
about
bread
that
is so like pillowy and like
yes,
just good. It's so good.
and I'll get like the chili in there once in a while. That's
Sure.
very good.
Jack and I like
yes.
to get one of each, and we try each other's. That's the cone method that we do.
One of my sleeper favorite drinks is at one of those Cozy Cones, which is the limeade with vodka
Yes.
in it. With the
There are alcoholic cones.
yes, the is like a pomegranate foam on the top as well. It's like a sugar foam that I love.
Scott and Cait, you guys grew up here, and I don't know, when California Adventure was opening, were people scandalized by like this park across from Disneyland will have libations, or was it just like, well, we know Epcot and MGM Studios have it in Florida, so yeah, I guess it makes sense if our second park has it.
Well, I'm happy to say I was in high school and I was not in any source of place that would be scandalized by this idea. I'm thrilled to say. I mean, I wouldn't put it past myself to be checking some lame message board, but it was certainly not in the newspaper. I
don't think it was a big deal.
Yeah,
I think it was like my mom is
at
like
all.
loves like Chardonnay. I'm sure like, and I went with her, and I think I remember her getting one and not thinking it was weird.
Oh yeah, what am I saying? For the marketing of the first one was like, we got Robert
it's very like
Mondavi
it was very
himself.
wine, California wine centric.
Yeah.
Although I have a quick anecdote about the opening of California Adventures, because I was like went there like before I went there right when it opened with my parents because they got divorced. Okay, my parents like said that we have to have a family meeting, and I like find out they're like getting divorced, and then as I'm like a crying like 11-year-old child, I say like, I thought when you said we're having a family meeting, I thought we were gonna go to Disneyland. And then my parents like stop like what they're doing and say, okay, well, let's go to Disneyland. And then as like a freshly divorced couple, we all pile into a car with my like newly divorced parents and like go to Disneyland as like a family. And it was very awkward. It was the day that they told us. And as a weird like curveball, we get there and Disneyland is like, well, if you go to California Adventures and go to Disneyland another day, we'll give you a free ticket. So, because they were like trying to get people to go to California Adventures and not Disneyland. So, like, the first time I went to California Adventures, I was like crying the whole time because my parents had just told us they were getting divorced, but still insisted that we all go. And it was like so fucked up. And I like hated California Adventures for years because I like associated it with my parents' divorce. And like, really the only way I came back to it was as like a teen getting blackout drunk. So actually, I feel like I just had therapy and this all makes sense now.
Well, you know why. That's a very good reason. That's insane. Well, and what a weird, you've been to like, all right, fine, we'll go to Disney. Well, you know, you could all come back again sometime, you know, all of you as a family together. Just come back
the
together.
second time my
You'll
dad
always be
didn't
together,
go the second time. So
Oh, man. Whoa. This is
it was just my mom that time. my newly single
That
mom.
was-
Wow.
That was the primary demographic of California Adventure the first couple of years was
Yes.
children of divorce and divorced dads going like, where do I take them? This one's cheap. This is like Disneyland. Is this right? I don't
they got
know. I got a
boxes.
lot on my mind.
And it wasn't like fully fleshed out as a theme park yet. Like it had like such a small amount of rides. It had the roller coaster and then this ride called Mulholland Madness that they got rid of. And then
Yes.
like the Ferris wheel. It had like almost nothing. And like, it was just like a weird, sad theme park. I was first of all expecting to go to Disneyland, then found out my parents got divorced. Then I expected to go to Disneyland again. And then it ended up being California Adventures.
It's like a metaphor for the rest of your childhood. Like you thought it would be Disneyland, and instead it was early California.
It was first
Yeah.
couple of years without even the Tower
No.
of Terror, California.
No Tower of
Adventure.
Terror.
Yeah.
That's wild. I feel like I will always, if I'm looking at photos of like barely themed scaffolding and a dinosaur thing sunglasses, I will think of divorce.
Cait, do you remember going on a ride that day called Superstar Limo?
No, but I feel like that rings like some vague bell.
It was very quickly changed, but it's one of the, I guess, probably one of the least liked rides in the history
What
of
was
theme
it?
parks.
Yeah.
It was it's now the Monsters Inc. ride, and it was basically like you're going through Hollywood. There's Drew Carey, there's Jackie
okay.
Chan, and it's like there were like these weird caricatures.
No, I didn't go on that one. I did do the American Idol experience. I think was around that time.
Yeah.
Was that in was that in California? Do we have that in Disneyland?
or
The American Idol experience.
Yeah.
That was definitely at MGM Studios.
I was thinking
And-
Millionaire. Actually, now that I'm thinking
maybe
about it.
million. Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Maybe
Who wants to be a millionaire at California Adventures? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
That was there.
That was
yeah, for
there.
sure.
That was there. We did that when my
Yes.
parents got divorced. That was there.
You know, in Superstar Limo, you can pass by weird dummies of Melanie Griffith and Antonio Banderas, who are now also divorced.
Wow.
Oh,
There you go.
50-50 odds the last few decades. So, you know, what are you going to do?
I'm trying to think before we go. Oh, can I add one more to the where there should be drinks? And I can't believe we hadn't thought about this before. The Mark Twain.
Oh,
If the
Well-
Mark Twain was a booze cruise, dear
that's where
Lord.
you put the mint juleps.
Yes, with
Yes.
alcohol, finally where it belongs.
Do you think they sell on Mark Twain? I think for safety purposes, maybe you sell right outside. You buy it and then you board the Mark Twain because you don't want.
And maybe for time purposes, because
Yeah.
there's not enough time to get everybody a drink.
Right. And then
But
also
if they
like
sold booze while you're waiting there, which is just this kind of weird corral anyway that's very boring.
right.
Yeah.
Jason, are you offended by this notion? Just this-
No, I kind of like that. That one, I think, for safety's sake, everyone only gets one. Like the
Well,
sort
I
of
think you
thing
only
where
have time for one.
it's only like a 10 or 12 minute lap around. So, but I'm saying the bartenders will only, like a bartender who says, I can only give you two, as if you were buying for yourself and your guest or your date or whatever. Like some bars won't fill your, like you take a tray of stuff. Like if they were like, I can only give you two, buddy. So that way people aren't getting sloshed and falling off a riverboat.
No deal. I want 7 shots, and I'm jumping. I'm swimming the rest of the way.
I think it's a limited menu service bar,
Wow.
Scott. I'm sorry to break it to you.
And you can't.
Not if I get back there. Not if I bust. So I get one drink that gives me the confidence to go back and steal the entire bottle, run around the ship, take command of the ship, blow the whistle, and then perfectly swan dive into the river.
Well, that's what some message board people are afraid of. That it will be like when Flanders orders a single white wine spritzer and wakes up married the next day in a destroyed hotel room.
Well, here that brings me to the last thing I wanted to bring up, which is when we talk about where does all this come from? This odd no, you cannot drink in the Magic Kingdom. Now you can if you pay for this expensive club, or if you're a guest from someone there, and you can drink right outside of the Magic Kingdom, but you cannot drink in Walt's special place. I was like, where does this actually come from? And this is discussed on some message boards, and they find an actual quote. This is from 1956, and somebody is asking Walt Disney, why is your park different than like a carnival? And he says, we got no liquor, no beer, nothing, because that brings in a rowdy element. That brings in people that we don't want, and I feel they don't need it. I feel when I go down to the park, I don't need a drink. I work around that place all day, and I don't have one. After I come out of a heavy day at the studio, sometimes I want a drink to relax. And then that's an odd out of context quote. It cuts off there. He may have just gone on to talk about how much he loves drinking for several paragraphs, and I don't know. But that's the source. This is what we've been picking apart for a long time, much like something out of the U.S. Constitution, where we've spent decades what does it really mean, and how can we
Yes,
stretch
right.
that? And
What did the originalists
The originalists. These are like Amy Coney
God.
Barrett with Walt and Disneyland. These are the originalists who are trying to see that as gospel versus a document that should be changed or a philosophy that can be changed. I think that what the stupidest thing, and I've said this before, I think, but okay, if you want to say this is a family place, there's no alcohol in the grounds, I really can't argue with that. No alcohol, fine. But if you can get alcohol at a 5-minute walk from the entrance to Disneyland, what are we doing here? What fake thing are we upholding?
Yeah.
The Uva Bar is not far. California Adventure is not far. What are we doing here?
I agree with that. I agree even to some extent with the Walt Disney quote of the park is rich enough, it's substantial enough, you don't need this.
No.
Of course. We'd think, of course.
On the other hand, it does feel like a quote of its time, because it's you had a tobaccoist on Main Street. People were just smoking everywhere. You didn't have gum. This park was designed by your pet peeves. There was no gum. But God forbid if people couldn't have us light up a delicious Chesterfield.
People had nicotine coursing through their veins. Women were getting fitted for brassieres on Main Street. It was crazy back then. The idea that you could have
wearing a
sugary
bra, the craziest thing you could do.
a sugary cocktail in Disneyland. Come on.
Yeah. Also, and I'll credit this a YouTube channel called Midway to Main Street that made actually a great video that proved that where he lands kind of where we're landing. The video is called "Alcohol at Disneyland: The Letter versus Spirit of Walt's Wishes."
Oh my God.
Oh, come on.
We really are in not just Constitution, but
Jesus.
biblical territory. We're picking apart the old text, the sacred text, and
Sacred Jedi
and
text.
the sacred Jedi text, and he makes the point that if we're being counter to carnivals and carnies, apparently that's why Walt didn't want people to have facial hair in the early days. Was that because carnies have
Are you
beards.
aren't
we
you
can't
still
have
not
that.
allowed to have facial hair?
No, you can.
It has to be-
No, you
Oh,
can now.
well,
yeah.
It has to be
I'm
neatly
maybe thinking
kempt,
of the
is the rule.
performers, because my friend got fired for having a mustache or something. But he was
It
he was
depends
an
on the
actor. He was an
role,
actor.
I think.
Right.
Okay.
I guess Disney didn't find anything funny about
So
mustaches.
sad. So sad.
When I worked at Universal Studios, I had some review where they docked me for facial hair, which I still cannot grow. I've never had the ability to grow, but I was like seeing if I could, and I had some weird speckles, and they said, well, yeah, you just can't have the facial hair. And I was like, wait, but you could have a full beard though, right? Yes. And then, or you could be clean shaven. Yes. So but what do I do in between? Well, I don't know. I guess you just
Out of luck.
You can't be here.
Yeah.
You have to grow the full beard before you can come back to work. I was so confused by that paradox.
Was there like a Mr. Universal in 1930 said, you can't have someone working here with an in-between facial
You've got to
hair
figure
growth.
out the spirit and the letter.
Of Carl Lemley.
Carl Lemley.
Nobody's
Carl
picking apart
Lemley.
his letter and spirit. Who cares? That's the thing about Walt. At the end of the day, like, who's he? We don't gotta listen to
old
him.
racist
He's
guy.
Like, much like the U.S. Constitution itself.
Amen.
That brings us back to that point.
All right,
Yeah.
everyone, make sure to vote this coming Tuesday as you're listening.
Yeah,
to this.
everybody who's listening to this, make sure that you get out there on Tuesday and vote. Wait, when's this coming out again, guys?
I
think it's
damned
over.
if I know.
Let's check each other's calendars. Anyway, get out there on Tuesday and make sure that you vote.
Vote early, vote often.
Anything else we want to shout out in terms of on the way out here? Specific cocktails,
yes.
specific things we like.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite, and maybe my favorite of all the fun, colorful drinks I like, Mickey's Fun Wheel. I believe you can still get it. It was at formerly the Cove Bar. Now it's the Lamplighter. Is that right, Jason?
Yeah, Lamplighter Lounge.
Lamplighter
Right.
Lounge. And that had multiple colors to it. Scott, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, because I have it pulled up in a tab too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's
Lamplight
Yeah.
Lounge. Lamplight
Gorgeous.
Lounge. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful drink.
The thing that the story when we went there together is that the thing at the bottom, whatever it is at the very bottom, I think does not have alcohol. And maybe it's just pineapple juice. And you got the drink and just started sucking right from the bottom. And then we're saying, this is my favorite drink. And then the bartender came and said, oh, actually, you're supposed to mix it up. And then I think they might have done it for you. And then you were really disappointed.
I don't think they did it for me.
They probably did it for you. You're helpless. You're you're the tall man, as we've established from the corn, and your hands are clumsy sometimes. and
I
you
like,
knock
break the
stuff
thing.
Do
over.
I like the
Generate.
idea that the waiter or waitress at the bar
Here,
took
I'll
the
do it.
straw and swirled it for me? Yes, I do like that idea.
That made, I guess that part doesn't seem accurate. But it must have been then that you swirled it and then were like,
well, because the problem is, yes, I think you're right. I think the bottom is just sugar or something, juice or something. But I wanted to maintain the fun because so basically it's like there's a very light blue at the top, like a thicker, more opaque blue under it. Then there's a red. Then there's a yellow. I wanted to keep that cool color look going the whole time I was drinking it. But to get a much more like smooth taste, you should mix it all together. So I was trying to just go level by level, which probably you get less of a fulfilling experience that way, but you get to still get your like color levels.
I thought this was of the same ilk of thing as you having what you called one of your favorite drinks you ever had at Bubba Gump and then discovering there was zero alcohol in it.
Yes, so that's true, Kate. So I 2 years ago we went and I thought I had ordered an alcoholic drink with added fun colors, and it was, as Eva Anderson put it, you just ordered an ice cream smoothie.
Wow.
That's
tough.
I didn't realize it until later that I was like, I don't think I'm feeling anything. I don't think there was alcohol in that.
I had a drink I wanted to shout out, and I think you can still get it down there, but it was specifically kind of angled for when Cars Land was opening. And it's a beer. It's a Racer 5 IPA, and that's pretty easy to find in California. I think it is a California brewery makes it, and it's just a very solid beer, but it's got like a race car on it. So we're like, we'll serve this around the car stuff. And I was like, I admire that's a great attention to detail.
Well, you know what? I've been sitting on it the whole time, and since you bring it up, I did for this, and I haven't been drinking due to a headache. That's how cool I am right now. But I do got a red Trolley Ale right here, which is my favorite thing to get. What I miss so much having in Cars Land. And I'll open it up at the end here. Also, I love that thematically that you can get on a red trolley in California Adventure. And the rocks are red. I've said it many times. I don't have to keep saying that I like this beer in Cars Land. What I got to do is open it up and have a little drink. Yeah, sure. That's right. Anything else you want to shout out?
You know,
Kate,
I feel like it's all the drinks I like have been covered, but shout out to just the people that go to the Carthay Circle Bar and go by themselves, because one time I did that and it was lovely, and I just hung out at the bar by myself and had a drink. So shout out to all the lonely Carthay Circle Bar hoppers. Bar flies.
Closing time.
Which we hope we can do again soon.
Hello, stranger.
Well, I'll briefly, I'm sure I've said this before. I was sometimes I've done a show at WonderCon, which is over at the NM Convention Center, and I'll take the opportunity to go down early, and like if I'm doing a comedy bit or something, I'll work on it at one of the bars. And I went into Trader Sam's at noon, and a guy came in, and the bartender was like, "Hey, Joe, how are you? What are you having? The
Love
usual?"
that.
And I was like,
Yes.
"Wow, that's
That's
all
the
I
dream.
want." Yes,
Boy. Yeah.
I saw that at Napa Rose once, the bar at Napa Rose at the Grand Californian. And it was clearly the regulars going.
That's a big spender regular. There.
He looked like he was ready to spend money.
Yeah. They got fancy stuff. And in looking up that place, they have a cigar menu. I did not realize. That's
Wow,
what we're
really?
doing At that
Oh.
place. Evidently.
Well, we're going to have to do cigars at Disneyland soon.
You gotta. That's the traditional spirit of the letter of the law.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He has no problem. Walt has zero problem.
I have I forgot. I wanted to shout out the hotel, like the off-brand hotels that are nearby on that one street. I forget what it's called. Yeah,
Harbor?
I forget the
Catella?
one that has like all the like shitty hotels. Like a couple of them have free happy hours, and you can just like go get like a free drink, but you have to walk.
Do you
That's
have to be
interesting.
staying there, but you just
pretend like you're
pretend to be
staying
staying there?
That's a good tip. Look, I have not actually heard that tip either. That's up there with the sunscreen tip, honestly.
I've got some good tips.
I
You
will
can
look
use
at
any
we'll look into
hotel
that. Let's look into
bathroom.
that and find.
Yeah.
We'll
I
find
could
the
be
names of the
wrong,
hotel.
but I went to one. I don't know if I got away with it or what, but
If they've
Maybe
cracked
they've
down
cracked down,
since,
but
I don't know.
Or you ordered a drink and didn't
they
pay
just
for
get
it.
it's like the hotel guests get, you know how like some hotels you have like free happy hours. It was like one of those.
Sure.
I think you get like one free drink. I don't know if I did more than like one drink, but I mean you got a tip. You got a
We
tip.
gotta look into it.
Too much
but
stealing.
it's free.
Of course.
Yeah.
Always tip if you get a free thing.
Yeah, you're stealing from a hotel
Yes.
you're not staying at.
Yeah.
Please tip. Can I ask one more question? If we're like here, I'm enjoying my favorite beer from Disneyland. If I or any of the listeners at home wanted to drink as you drank at 15 in a bathroom, what were you hitting up? How do you make a cake
Get
cocktail?
a warm, like almost hot water bottle full of let's say Jim Beam. Jim Bean?
Uh-huh.
Is it Jim? What is it?
It's Jim
Jim-
Beam.
Yeah.
Beam.
M on both.
So get a
Yeah,
warm
okay.
bottle of like a Jim Beam whiskey, and probably like a watery Diet Coke chaser, and just chug as much as you can because you only have a limited amount of time where you're going to be in the bathroom. It's got to last you like probably 30 minutes or at least of walking around. So get a hearty chug and then wash it down with some watery Diet Coke. That's the 15-year-old cocktail. And make sure you get some face paint accidentally in your mouth. Because you're sweating from the fake mustache that you thought was really funny to get.
And I might pitch that cocktail is called
The
the
Moxie.
Moxie.
There you go.
That's
You
how you.
did it.
That's how you make a moxie. And Cait Raft, you survived podcast The Ride. Thanks for being
Thank
here.
you guys.
What a
This was
blast.
great.
Let's exit through the gift shop. Is there anything that you would like to
My
plug?
podcast, Hot and Rich. It's also a Twitch show on Tuesdays and Fridays at 4 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/Hot and Rich. And that's it. I'm at Cait Raft on all the things.
Wow. Hey, wonderful.
Great.
Sure. Okay, great. And we're podcast The Ride on all the things, and you can get 3 bonus things every month if you go to Podcast The Ride, The Second Gate at patreon.com/podcast The Ride. Good stuff. And I guess in the spirit of the fry cart that we all determined we like, Westward Ho!
Forever Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Executive produced by Mike Carlson, Jason Sheridan, Scott Gardner, Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. For more original podcasts, please visit foreverdogpodcasts.com and subscribe to our shows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Keep up with the latest Forever Dog news by following us on Twitter and Instagram at Forever Dog Team and liking our page on Facebook.